So the partial shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security, or DHS, on Valentine's Day 2026 is specifically tied to a disagreement over how federal immigration agencies, primarily ICE and Customs and Border Protection, operate. While Republicans argue that Democrats' demands are extreme and would handicap law enforcement, I say hell yeah. No, Democrats maintain they are seeking common sense rules similar to those followed by local police departments. The specific reforms being debated include identification and transparency. Democrats are demanding that agents display visible ID numbers or names and stop wearing face masks during operations. A requirement for agents to wear body cameras during enforcement actions, and also judicial warrants. They want judicial warrants back that, they have to get a judge's approval before entering private property to make arrests. Because I think that did change. They want stricter rules on when agents can use force following the fatal shootings of 2 U.S. citizens by federal officers in Minneapolis in January 2026. They want to put a kibosh on enforcement operations near sensitive areas such as schools, churches, and hospitals. So again, the shutdown happened because Democrats are refusing to vote for a funding bill until these reforms are made law. Because a funding bill requires 60 votes in the Senate to pass, Democrats have the leverage to block it until their conditions are met. The Republicans and the White House have rejected several of these demands, especially the mask ban and warrant requirements, citing agent safety and operational effectiveness. So basically, just like the last shutdown we had towards the end of last year, the Democrats are doing the right thing. They are basically asking for the White House and therefore ICE to follow our Constitution and not let these pardoned J6ers and domestic violence supporter trash run amok, killing, maiming, and disappearing people. The Democrats are literally trying to save our lives and our democracy. I don't know how long this could last. Allegedly, the 2026 partial shutdown is limited to the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, and its effects are most heavily felt by two groups: frontline federal employees and travelers. Unfortunately, TSA officers and Coast Guard personnel, unlike most of the military, the U.S. Coast Guard is under DHS and is now working without pay, and approximately 61,000 TSA employees are also working unpaid. Many of these workers are still recovering from the record 43-day shutdown just months earlier last year. And while flights are currently moving, the longer the shutdown, the higher the absenteeism is among the TSA staff, who literally cannot afford to live without a paycheck. Industry groups warn that this could cause significant delays as the busy spring break season begins in March. Also, immigrants with court dates and immigration court dates are heavily impacted. Most hearings for individuals not in detention are canceled and rescheduled, adding months or years to existing backlogs. FEMA and disaster recovery are impacted, but immediate emergency response continues. But 85% of FEMA employees are working without pay, and long-term recovery projects for past disasters like rebuilding roads or homes or the grid in Puerto Rico may be slowed down. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency is facing a major impact with nearly 2/3 of its workforce furloughed, which means they were sent home without pay, potentially delaying defenses against national cyber threats. And now, please get ready for the bullshit of all bullshit. Notably least affected, ICE and CBP. These agencies received over $70 billion in a separate bill that might have been the ugly bill last year. Their enforcement operations are expected to continue with minimal disruption to staffing or pay. This makes me furious, and I'm sure it does many of you as well. If you know, or if you are in one of these groups going without pay, TSA officers, Coast Guard, etc., who are going without pay, let's all take care of each other. I did a video during the last shutdown about food insecurity when, they didn't give a shit about SNAP recipients, children, and elderly. So please check that video out and share it. It's available on YouTube, because the people who need help might be too proud to ask. They might not want to tell you all their business. By providing everyone with the resources for help, everyone has it. Here, knowledge is the point and love is the message. The Democrats are finally grabbing their nuts, from what I can see, and we need to continue to fight with them. The economy is weird to me right now. It looks good on paper, but the shit don't feel good. It don't feel right in our everyday lives. It's tough, and we have what's called shelf shock, because even though inflation is slowing down, allegedly, prices for essentials like groceries are still roughly 26% higher than they were in 2020, the pandemic. We also have low consumer confidence. Currently is 20% lower than it was last year. And people without stocks or major savings report feeling stagnant and dismal financially. And I'll raise my hand. If you feel that way, you're not alone. Many Americans are carrying record levels of debt and starting to struggle with credit card debt and payments as the savings run dry. Tariff costs are fucking us up, as we, with common sense and a basic rudimentary understanding of how shit works, how we knew that they would. New taxes on imports from Canada, Mexico, and China are causing immediate price spikes for produce, electronics, and car parts. If you have investments or a high-paying job, the economy probably feels okay, stable. If you are a middle or lower income earner, you are likely feeling technically poorer, because wage growth hasn't fully caught up to the total price hike seen since 2020. So again, y'all, let's stay the course. Keep holding your representatives accountable for all this shit, because as depressed, hopeless, or discouraged as some of us may feel, we still have the power. All of these people in the government work for us. We have to keep reminding them of this, and remind yourself, and be good to each other. Help when and where you can, because weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Remember that. Now, please go put on some church music and enjoy a good praise break. Happy Black History Month. Bye.